Morning, welcome back to the channel. It's Monday. I'm off work on a Monday, listen. Peeing down with rain again, showers, freezing cold. So, put my hand up, never took the motorbike out on Saturday as I said, my last little short thing I did. It was like this, and it was actually icy, really dangerous. However, Sunday, you can see that looking a bit dirty. I just wiped all around it. We were out in the Jeeps, we actually had an absolute hilarious time, Chris and me. So what I did do on Saturday is went to our Navy stores again at Coldstream, bought some new waterproofs. Hadn't any buy fancy motorbike waterproofs, I think they're a waste of money. I mean, 20 quid for a used Gore-Tex British Army jacket, which has a hood. You can wear that on top of a fleece for hill walking with the hood, for wet weather. I used to wear these trail riding along with Gore-Tex boots inside motocross boots. But even better, for 24 quid is these. I'll give you a demonstration why they're so good, because how they fasten up. Now, you'll done this when you hop around at the side of your bike, and then you've got popper studs and everything. It's the zips on these. That's how good they are. And the fact is, you can fasten them in tight. They're not going to ride up your legs like we get Berghaus Gore-Tex waterproofs, really good waterproofs issued at work. But if you wear them on the motorbike, they rise up, bottom of your riding jeans get wet, water gets inside your boots, cold feet. But look at these for 24 quid. Thoroughly recommend a pair of these. If you've not got an Army Navy store, you get them on eBay. These are a size large, which I'll read out. So I'm a 36 waist in jeans. Hopefully you can see this. So size large, the leg is an 80 and the waist is a 90. It's the way British Army do their stuff. Anyway, so today in the shed, because it's raining, I've got a few things to do with the Jeep, but tying up the front left brake because it's actually pulling to the right. I'm not going to do a video on it because I've done videos on the drums. I don't think you'll see it. This is how clever this thing is. So it's cams on either side, two shoes in the drum, and you turn the cam in the way and it pulls the shoe out. And there's the field option, which is you tighten the brake fully and you back them off like quarter turn. And then the workshop way of doing them is with feeler gauge gaps. I can't do that because I've got warped drums. You can't feel it when you drive it. But I need to tweak that. And then a few other things to do. Oh, other thing I picked up yesterday, Saturday, just a couple of shells, 25 pence each. Can't even read what size they are. However, look, rubber dust cap, super glue that in. I've got a couple of wee peeled dust covers for my Enfield. So I'll sort them out later. So every time I'm in the garage, I always show you something that has a story to it. So what can I show you today? With the weather, this is interesting. Looks like a flying hat, doesn't it? It's actually not. This is beaver fur. It's one of the warmest hats I've ever worn. So when I was 15, I left school, became a greenkeeper, worked with a chap who retired a year or two after that. Donald Flynn his name was, he lived in North Berwick. So he was a gunner on the Atlantic convoys in World War II. And they were given these hats, and there you go. From Navy League of Canada, Ontario Division. Now, because I showed a lot of interest in his exploits on the Atlantic convoys, now everybody knows about those Atlantic convoys. Minus 40 conditions, horrific. And some of the things he told me, I don't think I'll ever forget. We need to get some oil on this train. So he told me that it was so cold they wore a leather mask. If you were on watch with binoculars, the binoculars would stick to your eyelids, so they had to wear a leather mask for the binoculars. And if they weren't doing that, they were smashing ice off of the ship that would build up with the waves splashing. And it would, if they didn't do that, the ships would actually capsize, because even though they were filled with jeeps and guns and trucks, tanks, you know, ammunition, there was that much weight on the ice, it would have tipped them. And the thing that's haunting is they never wore life jackets. And he says we had our life jackets and we threw them in the lifeboats. But he said if you didn't get to a lifeboat and you were going to go, if the ship got torpedoed, because you weren't going to live because it was that cold, you would just died with the cold. And the thing as well, they couldn't stop because of the U-boats. So if another ship got torpedoed, they just kept going. Those boys would only get rescued if they got into the boats. They'd only get rescued by picked up by either fishing boats or possibly coastal command flying boats. Sorry. So yeah, so it's good that you can hold on to some things. I don't know how I never managed to lose this. It's like one of these wartime things you get as a kid and you keep. So there you go, a wee bit of history or story. So now we're into winter. Obviously this Jeep is all covered in lano guard. You can see there, it's like a candle wax, as is my bike. You better have your bike done with something. Now I brush painted all my spokes with lano guard. It stopped them going white. The rest of the bike I used to spray down with GT85. You can see it's all shiny with it. I think GT85 is brilliant stuff. And I've actually recently just bought some XEP rust stopper. A lot of folk rave this. I've actually not bought it for my bike. I bought it for our push bikes to do a couple of bits on them to stop the rust. So I'm going to get on with that today. Loads of stuff to do, keep myself busy. So you'll enjoy the next Jeep film. It's going to be on Friday instead of a motorbike film. I apologise for that, but look at the leather, listen to it, it's horrible. But I'll tell you a funny thing, I was wearing an M65 jacket with a liner that buttons in, see that? And then I was wearing my Irwin jacket. It was -2 when I left here, white frost. I was too warm with both coats, which you can't believe. But yeah, it's just a horrible day. So anyway, just a quick something for the shed. Hope you're alright, and I'll put this on Wednesday, day after tomorrow. Interestingly, I'm back at work tomorrow, and tomorrow night Chris got tickets for a Top by Serrano Finds. I mean, now he's the last living legend. He is the world's greatest explorer. I mean, what's he all done? SAS, French Parachute Regiment as well. He fought in Oman actually, or served in Oman, where a local Peter O'Mahony served in the SAS. I wonder if he knew Peter O'Mahony and vice versa. Peter passed away a few years ago. He was a friend of my dad, and so yeah, he was the first warden at John Muir Country Park. I think he sorted out any illegal barbecue partying went on. You wouldn't have messed with him, I tell you that. So anyway, I'm waffling now. I'm off to do some tinkering. See you later. Bye for now.